Hey guys, Major Dodo here with a little kind of a mini guide tip kind of thing. Now I'm doing this for one of my clients for his Kingdom Death miniatures, and that is base magnetizing. Why magnetize the base? Simple. To keep track of your miniatures while you're playing Kingdom Death, it can be easy to keep them brightly colored. Color code them. So blue, green, whatever one, 4 different colors, 4 different minis, helps keep track of what's going on. Now, the downside of this, of course, is if you want to put the miniature on display, might not look crash hot, especially if you're getting a nice, for instance, reach over here, something like the Bard. Nice, expensive mini, you've put a lot of time in, perhaps gotten someone else to put a lot of time into it. You don't want to whack a bright green base on it. So what do? You magnetize them. Now you can see here 2 that I've done already. If you've been in the Kingdom Death for more than 5 minutes, you know about the 2 base halves, and that's basically all we've done here is put a magnet in each half. Obviously they'll be easy to get apart when there's a miniature on this bit, but basically that's all we're doing. Magnetizing these together, so that way you can have a few plain black display bases or whatever color you want. Your nice fully painted miniature can sit there when it's on display. When it comes time to game, cool, take it off, grab another one, stick it on. Actually, no, it'd be grab this one, stick it on, and there you have nice bright colored, easy to keep track of. So how do you do it? Well, if you're not familiar with magnetizing, there's a few things that'll help keep things simple. Now, do a first pair, probably the big thing. Don't try and do them all at once. The reason we do this is it will make it a lot easier to magnetize the rest of your bases. And by that, I mean to keep track of the magnetic polarities. Keep it in layman's terms, I guess. Not every side of a magnet is going to stick. Sides, apparently, so I'm told. So if you want all of your bases to stick to all of these, you want to make sure that the magnets are the right way around. So if you do a single starting pair and then do all of the rest of your magnets using these 2 as a guide, you're going to save yourself a lot of stress. And that kind of goes for anything you're doing. So as far as putting these in, it's easy. Just need a drill, some super glue, and some 2mm magnets. Obviously, magnets of your choice. I'm using 2mm as they seem to be the kind of perfect size and thickness. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try and line up in the center, and then I'm just going to drill. It's that simple. Now, don't go crazy. Just kind of keep track of what's going on. You're looking for discoloration on this half of the miniature, because that means you're hitting all the way through, and you don't want to drill all the way through. You just want to kind of almost get there. So the second you see that either discoloring or you start to see it press up a bit, you know you've gone in far enough, and that way you're going to avoid any kind of visible burrs or that kind of thing, which will detract from the bottom of the base if you care. For the top side of the base, might not be a big issue for you. If you're using the stone face bases, you've got a lot more room to play with. Even if you're using these, sand, that kind of thing is going to hide that quite easily. So now I'm going to actually lean in so I can see. There we go. So I'll zoom in and you can see what I mean by discoloration. You can see how that bit of the plastic is just that little bit brighter than the rest of it. Going all the way maybe. That is where the drill is poking through. And that means we need to stop drilling. What I also find for cleaning out the rubbish plastic from where it's been boring in, just wiggle your drill bit backwards and forwards, and that's going to clean that out. And that's all you need to do. You do that for that side. I'll zoom back out. We'll do it for this side. Again, you want to go straight for the middle, as close as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect. The magnets will pick up the slack. And yeah. Drill. If you find it easier, you can mark a pilot hole either with a smaller drill bit or just with the tip of the knife. I usually use the tip of the knife when I'm doing something like a bolter barrel, or a gun barrel, I suppose, if you're not under 40k, because that helps straighten things up, and helps keep things straight. It's important. With those, you want to make them as close to the center as possible, and there's not a lot of leeway, where unlike here where we've got tons. So that's when you kind of mark it and make sure you're perfectly lined up. But with these, it's not as big a deal. But again, I'm just going to keep drilling until I see it start to come through the other side. Wiggle the drill bit, and done. Now I will grab my knife. These bases will have some cut marks where they've been cut off their casting sprues, so you just want to carefully clean that up a bit. That'll help them sit a bit better. A couple of the bases I had these little circle depressions here, had a rim of plastic standing up. I had to scrape those off. So if you see that, you might want to grab that as well. That'll make things sit as smoothly as possible. And then finally, there's also a defect here from where these were cast, that again, you just want to give it a little scrape, get it down smooth. You can use sandpaper, you can use a file, whatever you find is easier. And a little tip, if you are gluing these together, you want to put that at the back of the model. That goes for any base really. Pretty much every miniature base comes with some kind of defect like that. Put it at the back, no one's going to notice it. I know a few people, it's their pet hate for when people glue the miniatures with a defect at the front. So I'm going to get a magnet, and I'm going to get a base that I did in the first place, and I'm going to drop the magnet on so it sits like that. This is what I mean by making sure they line up. So next I'm going to get a teeny tiny bit of super glue. You just really need to, you don't need a lot at all, you only need a little bit. The magnet isn't going to have a lot of force, trying to pull it out of that hole. It's just to kind of stop it falling out, really. And then I'm just wiping it with my thumb. Doesn't matter to get a little super glue on your thumb, it's not going to hurt you. And you're just left with a little bit in there. Then what we do is we take this one with the magnet sitting on it already, and we press them together. Get them as tight as you can, like that. Then pull them back apart. Get rid of the super glue on this, if you're that worried. Smear off any excess. Doesn't really matter at this point. And that'll be pressed together. And then obviously for the bottom part, we'll be doing the opposite. So we'll get a magnet, and I'll get the other one so I'm not having to worry about any super glue that's still drying on this. Drop it on there. Place a teeny tiny bit of super glue in here, just a little bit. Like, you don't even need a drop, it's just moisten the area. Moist. I know. Maturity of a 5-year-old. Put them together. Press them. You don't want them to wobble. I find there's a little bit of a wobble, but it's not going to notice when it's sitting still. And then pull them apart again. And if you're worried, you can go through and just kind of like press in and try and make sure that the magnets are flat. But that's it. That's all there is to it. Now if you do these, then that's it. You can have a set of 4 brightly colored bases for playing. So green, white, I can't remember, I think it's red, green, blue, and white, I think, were the 4 of the base game. You can have them sitting there and then just swap in miniatures. And that's it. That way you can have a nice set of display bases and a set of gaming bases. And yeah, I know some people do it just with their starting survivors, which of course is an option. However, you might want to put your starting survivors on display and use your other survivor kits. I find the people that tend to do that are the ones that are just going to use their starting survivors for the whole game. Whereas this way, when you use the other armor kits, when you start to customize, and everyone's got their own miniature they're attached to, you can have those on display, swap them over, put them on the game field. Easy. Alright, there you go. Super simple. Anyone can do it. Yeah. Hopefully you find it useful. Might be something to do. Thought it would be something to share. Alright guys, you have a good one. Thanks for watching, and have a good one.